Good evening, everyone. Just let me know if you're able to see the screen which says 7 cents, and also let me know if my audio is clear, if there's any disturbance. Hi, Divyanshu. And also, if you are online, just send a hi so that I know the number of people who are watching, active people who are watching. Awesome. So, we will just start off. Just give me a moment, guys. I'm facing some issue with the PowerPoint. Okay, so let's talk about Apisero. Any idea what this company does? Anyone? Because the first thing that happens in a personal interview is questions related to what the company does. So if the candidate has no idea what the company does, uh, that's a really sad thing for the interviewer. So you have a very low chances of getting selected if you don't know what the company does, right? So can somebody tell me what does the company do? Waiting for your answers. I can only see hi and hello. I don't see anybody actually telling me the answer. So if you actually Google what Apisero does, you might probably find something like Apisero is a premium MuleSoft and registered Salesforce consulting partner. So basically, Apisero is a company that works in integration of softwares and their services. So what they basically do is they connect various devices and people across their software platforms in order for the smooth workflow. So along with that, they also work as a Salesforce consulting partner for their provide solution using MuleSoft Anypoint software. Yeah, good one, Vishwa. So this is what they do basically. So what is MuleSoft? Because one of the, I mean, it's not a mandatory requirement. But any idea or anybody here has worked with MuleSoft? because Apisero mainly works with MuleSoft, and MuleSoft is a software where you work on. So most of them are saying no. So what MuleSoft basically does, it is actually the software which is used by Apisero to integrate all the platforms. Okay, so there are mainly two types of MuleSoft software. One is Mule ESP by MuleSoft, and there is something called as Cloud Hub, right? So both of these are used to connect enterprise softwares or SaaS applications. So I would suggest everyone to do your due diligence of research about what MuleSoft is, what kind of questions they might ask you. I mean, obviously, you'll say you've not worked on MuleSoft, but at least knowing what it does or what the company does or what the software does carry a little weight. So I would suggest everyone who's online here to work on that particular aspect of knowing what Episode does in a detailed manner. So mainly they worked on MuleSoft and Salesforce application, but the majority market share is on providing integration services to various companies. So that's the reason they mainly work on MuleSoft. And what they do in MuleSoft is basically integrate various platforms for companies and their enterprise softwares. Right. So in simple words, MuleSoft allows developers to connect applications together quickly and easily, and this results in exchanging of data in a really easy and a sophisticated way with the proper security. So this is what MuleSoft basically provides you. So there are a lot of online courses. I'm not asking because the interview is coming right away, and I'm not asking you to go through or buy an online course for MuleSoft or anything. But what I would suggest you to do is basically go through whatever the software does, and do a little bit of research on what this software does. Now, like I said, most of you don't even have an idea or probably heard MuleSoft for the first time. So what I would suggest is MuleSoft is basically a Java based software. Okay, that's why most of the work you'll be doing will be based on Java. So now my next question is, how many of you are aware of Java, or have you learned Java? Okay, if you give me reasons that I'm from EC, I'm from mechanical, uh, see, now just because you're from EC, you're from mechanical, the company will not say, okay, just you're from EC, so we'll do one thing, we'll hire you, and then you don't have to work on Java. We will make something else for you. That's not going to happen, right? So if you're ready to work in the IT industry, if you want to work for a particular company, know what that company works on, and uh, upskill yourself to that particular requirement. So coming to the stage of placements and then complaining, sir, I'm from EC, I never studied it, will be the wrong thing to do. Right, I do understand you're from EC, probably you didn't study it, or you're from department where there was no Java being taught. That's totally understandable, but that is not an excuse to say, sir, it is not taught to us, so that's why we didn't learn. We're in an age where you can learn everything for free, or absolutely free, via the internet, and it does not take a lot of time also. So if possible, uh, has anybody got the dates for the episode of drives? Last time, because of the lockdown, it happened in so somewhere in August. Right. This time they're planning to do it early. Last time it happened somewhere in August in a major part of the country. So anybody's got the dates? I mean, usually it happens during April or May, but last time because of the pandemic and the lockdown, they had delayed it to August to September. Around that, you have the online test. That's the first round of test, right? Pawan, just confirm. You have the online test, which is the first round of test. No, we'll talk about that. Ah, so we'll come there. But when I spoke about first round of test is tomorrow, correct. So any idea? Okay, we will jump into that. So like I said, Apisero and MuleSoft and it's Java-based application. So any questions there related to the company? Then we'll move on to the needs or what are the technology they're expecting you to know and all that later. But any questions there? Okay, I understood that tomorrow is the first round of test. That's an online test. But my question is, any questions related to the company? Okay. So talking about the placement process, anybody knows what is going to be there for tomorrow's test? The test pattern basically is what I'm talking about. I'll talk about the skills required in detail, but Java is one of the skills they expect you to know because MuleSoft is based on Java. Okay, and any training period, sir? Regarding the training period, usually the training period ranges from 2 months. That is what has been done for the 2019 pass outs. Okay. For the 2020 pass outs, there's no such information yet available for me to give you. So I'm not sure. But for the 2019 pass outs, at least in Pune and Bangalore, it was, sorry, Pune and Hyderabad, it was about 2 months. Right. It was actually 70 days of training, but yeah, you can go with that. About 2 months. Yeah, almost 3 months actually. Now, coming to the test pattern, let's come to the test pattern. So, when it comes to a test pattern, the test pattern they have is basically containing of four different. Yeah, sorry. So it contains four different sections. One is the logical section, the quantitative section, the verbal ability section, and the technical section. So, like I said, you have 40 questions totally. So 10 questions in each section. Now, coming to the time allotted for the written test. So, the time allotted for the online test is 60 minutes. Right. So, that is the time allotted for the online test, which is 60 minutes. Wait, what happened? Okay. Yeah. That's what I said, Hari. The time allotted is about 60 minutes. Moving on. What? areas you need to focus on. Obviously, they are looking for candidates who have good problem solving skills, good analytical skills. So the logical part of the analytical reasoning part, it says 4 to 6 in the mail that we got. As in the time given for you to give the test is 4 to 6. So once you start the test, you have about 60 minutes. At least that is what it was until last year when students gave it. But if they mentioned 4 to 6, that means between that time, that is 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Is that the time given, Misha? So between that time, you have to complete this 60 minutes test. That is an hour, right? So areas which need to focus. So under analytical ability or logical reasoning, you have questions mainly from analogies coming, questions from silogs of the same level what you got in Infi, and the section is said to be of a little higher level than the other sections because they are looking for a candidate with good reasoning ability. So the level is said to be higher than the other levels. It will be of the same level of what you got in Infi basically. Okay, and coming to the quantitative part of it, quantitative ability test, also the quantitative aptitude section, questions from time, speed, distance, time and work, ratios, algebra, averages, number systems, number series, especially because I see at least 2 or 3 questions. I've seen at least 2 questions minimum being there for number series. Time, speed, distance also has about 2 questions. Time and work also I've seen at least minimum of 2 questions. So these are the profit and loss is also a topic that you have to focus. So these are topics under quants that you have to focus on when it comes to quants, right? Then I have verbal ability test. Here, it's mainly sentence completion. You have to fill the blanks, and along with that, you also have vocabulary, so synonyms and antonyms, reading passages. There was in year around 2018 and even 19, they did have they had been asking critical reasoning questions also, which was mainly a part of analytical ability, but they didn't ask it from last uh, two placement drives. So I'm not sure if you have to focus there, but all the other areas you better focus. Okay. Now coming to the technical knowledge or the technical areas that you have to focus on for giving the technical test. Okay. So questions from C, output based questions will definitely be there. Apart from that, questions from operating system OS and questions from computer organization and networks might also be there. So these are the areas you have to focus on in the technical round of the test. So the the overall paper or the overall test is said to be a moderate paper comparing it with the rest of the paper. So for you to give you a better understanding, the aptitude level will be of the same level what you had in Infi, and the technical level will be something similar to what you had in CTS and everything. So I hope you get the idea of where it lies. So once you qualify for this particular round, you next move on to the technical and HR interview, which will be conducted in the same slot. So, any questions with the online test? Anyone? Any questions? Great. So, let's move on to the next set of rounds. That is the technical interview and the HR interview. So let's talk about the. When I talk about this, let me also discuss the uh, requirement of a student. So obviously, a candidate who is graduating from BTech or from BCA, and who has an aggregate of 60% overall is the requirement. Okay, I mean I don't know if they've changed it for your college or changed it individually, but I guess this was a requirement throughout the country. So if there's any change with this, please do let me know. Okay, Lata is asking what the cutoff is. So the cutoff ratio is actually decided once the test is done. So, sir, once again, repeat the technical topics. Okay, you want me to repeat the technical topics? I'll just finish the cutoff ratio. So the last cutoff, what I am, so there's no official cutoff provided by Apisero. So the last cutoff that I saw was sectional was about out of 10, if you get six, that is about 60% in every round, in every different section, or overall if you get a 60%. I'm not sure if it is overall 60% of the marks or if it is individual sections 60% of the marks. That was the cutoff. Okay, but again that was again dependent on the level of students and everything, so it keeps changing. If there are if there are because they overall in the entire country they hire about 250 to 300 students in a year. Okay, so the cutoff might vary. If there are students in your batch who are all scoring, let's say there are about 500 students who are all scoring above 80% in all the sections put together, then the cutoff might increase, or it might also decrease if all the students are really not that average, and the top 500 have the cutoff of the range of only 50%, then they might decrease the cutoff. Now, Hari asked me the topics that you need to focus on the technical section. So, output based questions, depending on what programming language it is, it's usually asked in C or C++, but there are chances of some output based questions from Java. Apart from that, other topics that you have to focus on is OS and computer organization and computer networks. Devanshu, I didn't ask. I mean, I didn't get your question. Test link will be where tomorrow? I guess you'll be mailed with the test link, or you can contact your placement officer for the test link. I don't think so. I'll be able to send you a test link. I'll not be getting any test link. If that is what you're asking, or if you're trying to send a test link, I don't think so. You can send the test link in the chat. I'm not sure. Clear? Any other questions related to the first round? And in the if you go to the Apisero career pages, you can see that there is a mention of a condition, or a, yeah, there's a condition which says that I said 60 minutes. No, the timing of the test is 60 minutes. The company reserves to change or make any changes in the written test at any time. So whatever pattern I've told, it is the usual pattern for past 2 3 years, but it might change also. If you see any papers from Episoro about 2 or 3 years ago, this is usually the pattern. Okay, so that is about this. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, coming to the next aspect of it. The next aspect of it is technical and HR interview. So we'll let's first focus on the technical part of it, and then we'll move on to the HR part. So, what happens in the technical interview? So, it is online interview as far as the information that we have seen various students get. Can you tell the system or webcam is there? Almost every company in today's world, I mean, in whatever we have seen until now, everybody expect you to have a webcam. So this is a request to all the students. Please don't what do you call use your cell phones or tablets to give tests. Use a proper computer system or a laptop with proper internet connectivity and webcam to write your test. Okay, because most of the students are missing on the opportunity of not being able to complete the test on time or something, just because they're giving the test in the phones. Right, so moving on. So talking about technical interview and the HR interview, so various things that you need to focus. So they expect you to know at least two programming languages. So knowing C, C++ is an advantage uh, on a basic level. But if you know Python, sorry, if you know Java, it is of a huge advantage because most of the main domain in which the company works in is Java. So it is a huge advantage if you know Java, and also uh, if you mention Python or .NET or any other programming language, it will be a benefit to you. Okay, so most of the technical interviews, like I usually do, I've told this many times whenever we discuss technical interviews. The technical interviews will be based on your resume first, always on your resume. It will be based on the resumes that you provide. So be sure what you have written on your resume. So, question regarding the skills that you have mentioned will definitely be asked. Questions regarding your internships, question regarding your certifications, question regarding your projects if you have done any. All this will be mandatorily be there. So, be sure about what you have mentioned in your resume, and also be ready to answer questions regarding it. Right. So, that is the basic thing of any technical interview. Apart from that, they expect you to be really strong with logic. Okay, algorithm and logic. So there has been instances when a student has been asked to explain a logic for a program. For example, if I simply ask you, I just want you to honestly give what comes to your mind. It's a very basic question, but the way you explain it is actually important. So how do you check if a given number is prime? The question is very basic. How do you check if a given number is prime or not? So, what will be your answers? I just need answers in two sentences. I don't want you to give me the code. I want you to explain me in words. How do you check if a given number is prime or not? So most of you have given me answer that I was actually expecting from you. That is a number which is divisible only by one and itself. Right? Has anyone given me divisible by itself? Divisible. If the number is divisible, then it's prime. Okay, I've got variety of answers. Number is divisible by 2, then it is not a prime number. Number is gives a remainder divided by 2, then it's a prime number. Okay. Looks second not divisible by other numbers. Okay. So I've got multiple answers, but I've not got the right answer. I mean, it might be right according to you, but it is not right according to the person who is writing a coding logic. So I'll give you another 2 minutes. Think about your answer as a programmer, as a coder, and tell me what the logic will be. It doesn't exist. Okay. I assume the crowd that I'm training here is a crowd that has gone to school. So I don't think so. The answer it doesn't exist is valid to even the technical into. It's not even. I will not accept that answer. Prime numbers are existing numbers. So I'll give you an example of prime numbers just for you to understand. One is not prime nor composite. The prime number starts with 2. So 2, 3, and then it's 5, then it's 7, and then it's 11, then it's 13, and it goes on. Okay? So if I explain what prime number is, then you will lose a chance of answering. So I've given you 2 more minutes. Let's see who can answer. Using modulus operator. Okay. Fair enough. Using modulus operator. You're again explaining me the code. Okay. So I'm not saying you're wrong. Most of you whose answer I saw, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. Okay. But that is not the answer any coder will accept. Most of you gave me the answer. The prime number is a number which is divisible by 1 and itself, which is absolutely right. I'm not saying it is wrong. So that is the only answer I would accept. Apart from that, if you have written number which is divisible by 2 and not divisible by any other number and all that, I don't know how you got this definition from where you learned it. Probably you'll have to recheck your definition for prime number. But if I tell you uh, this explanation, as an interviewer, just think about it. If I tell you a number, a prime number is a number which is divisible by itself and 1. Now, let's take a normal number 9. Is 9 a prime number? It's a composite number. We all agree? Yes or no? Let's quickly respond with yes or no. Is 9 a prime or a composite number? It is a prime number. Lata says not a product of two numbers. Okay. Prime numbers are not product of two numbers. Yeah, correct. That also is a good explanation. But 9 is not a prime number, it's a composite number. Now, I said your explanation of prime number is a number which is divisible by itself and 1. So, can I divide 9 by 9? Yes. Can I divide 9 by 1? Yes. So, in that aspect of your definition, your 9 is a prime number. Yes or no? Now, rethink your answer. Lata, what explanation you gave is kind of right, not a product of two number, but I will not be able to apply a coding logic to it. Which is right. Prime numbers are not product of two numbers. Is absolutely right. But I'll not be able to apply any coding logic to that particular thing. Not a product of smaller numbers. Not exactly. Still, I'll not be able to apply. I mean, the definition is right. What explanation you gave for a prime number is right. But my point is, I'll not be able to apply the logic of. I'll not be able to apply any logic based on that particular definition. Not necessary. Uh, I'll just give you a number. Just a moment. Okay. Just tell me if this number is prime or not. 37249. 37249 is my number. Just tell me if it's prime or not. 37249. Is it prime? So it is not divisible as far as I know. It is not divisible by any smaller numbers. Good one, Pawan. That's a very good explanation. So 34279 is a product of numbers 193 and 197, which are, I don't think so I can consider them as small numbers, right? So that explanation has this particular flaw if you say smaller number, but prime numbers are not product of two numbers. That is very much acceptable. But what explanation Pawan has given using loop, we divide numbers by 0 to 9. We don't do it from 0 to 9. I'll come to that. If it has more than two factors, then it's a prime number, else it is not. Okay, pretty convincing answer. The answer, which is of a single line, is a prime number is a number which is only divisible by 1 and itself. So most of you, not most of you, everyone missed this. So everyone gave me an answer which is prime number is a number which is divisible by 1 and itself. The term only was missing because a prime number is a number which is only divisible by 1 and itself, right? So I hope you got the difference between what explanation you have to give and what you don't have to give. The logic is very simple. You take all the factors from 1 to the number, and if you find the factors more than 2, then that's a prime number. Again, there are different sophisticated codes to avoid doing it, the running the for loop for uh, n number of times if the number is n, by dividing the n by 2 and all that. There are different logics which you can focus on later. But the point is, the definition is a prime number is a number which is only divisible by 1 and itself. Yeah? Any questions here? Okay, so I was talking to you about what kind of questions will be asked. So various similar kind of coding logics will be asked with you. So you have to be ready with that. Okay, that is one thing. So moment. Yeah. So you need to be really strong with the logic and algorithm of a code. So they might ask you to explain an algorithm, or they might ask you to explain the logic of a code. They might ask you any questions. It can be a simple code, but they expect you to know how to build a logic. So they just want to see if you are a coder who has by hearted a code all by yourself, or who is able to build a logic on your own. Okay. And then, like I said, questions regarding MuleSoft will be asked. One of the first questions they'll ask you is whether you know what MuleSoft is. Okay, and then the next one is, have you worked with MuleSoft? So whether you know what MuleSoft is, the answer should be yes, and you should be able to explain what MuleSoft is. I've already told you to do your due research on it, so please get ahead with it. When it comes to have you worked with MuleSoft, I guess 100% of the answer is no. Okay, so you can actually say no. So it's all it is not bad to say no to an interviewer. So you can say no, you have not worked with MuleSoft. You have not got an opportunity to work with MuleSoft is a better answer. Now, after that, the next question immediately after that will be, will you be willing to learn and work with MuleSoft? So, Apisero as a company is majorly working on MuleSoft and connecting integrating various softwares for its clients. So, an answer of yes would be really great for this particular question. Right. Moving on, they might also ask you whether you have any knowledge about cloud technologies and Spring. So, if you have any knowledge about cloud technology and Spring, it will be really ideal. Okay, because again, most of their software platforms are cloud-based softwares, and it will be really great for they would it will be really advantageous for the company to hire a person who has due knowledge about the cloud and what do you call Spring technologies, right? So that'll be great. Okay, I've been asked to post the attendance link. Just let me just post the attendance link. One moment. So I've posted the attendance link. You can mark your attendance there. Getting back to what I was discussing. So yeah, it'll be really great if you have any prior knowledge or experiences with working on cloud technologies. Maybe if you've done a project or an internship related to cloud technologies or Spring, that'll be really good. The other area where they would be looking for a candidate who has good knowledge is QA automation, quality test and automation framework. So if you have any work experience or internship experience or project experience related to software testing or QA, that is also going to be really helpful for you. So questions will, if you say yes, then they might ask a couple of questions related to it. Along with that, if you have any programming certifications, be it certifications from Python, be it certifications from knowing Django, knowing any web development tools, whatever it is going to be an added advantage. So if you have any certifications, please mention that in your resume. Right. So it's going to be an added advantage. Also, please mention things where you can provide proof, because I see a lot of students, they simply mention I have certifications with the various high-end courses. They say I have Cisco certification, that this everything, but then when asked, okay, what certification can you share the certificates with us, they fail to do that. So if you have the certificate, only then mention it. If you don't, please don't mention fake information, because which is going to be really embarrassing for you and also a bad thing, right? So any certifications will be an advantage here. Okay, even online certifications are valid, so please know that. Any questions until now? Do you have any queries related to the technical interview? So your technical interview along with HR might go up to 30 to 35 minutes, and if you feel that your interview has gone up to about 30 to 35 minutes, you have very high chances of getting placed. Because if it is below that, if it gets over in like 10 or 15 minutes, then they are probably not interested with the candidate at all, or they are heavily impressed with the candidate. So that is your cue card to know whether you have been selected or not. So you can judge it with the duration of your interview, right? So that being said, any questions? Is there any tips for non-core branch students? Yes, I was about to talk to you guys. So for people who are from CS, they do expect you to know at least two to three. I mean, at least two programming languages. One being C and other being either Java or C++ or anything with OOPS. So question based on that will be asked. For non-core branches and also CS related branches, IS, IT, whatever your streams are, there is a very good chance of you getting questions from your topics that you have studied in your curriculum. So there might be a question fired at you saying, what are the various topics you have learned in your curriculum, or what is your favorite subject? These are two ways they ask you in order to understand what subjects you have studied. So once you have answered them that, the next question they ask you is related to that particular subject. So when you mention a particular topic to them, please be sure about what you mention. Okay. So I have couple of questions related to technical. So I'll just try to share the screen, and later we'll also discuss questions related to non-core branches like Yogananda asked. So these are not, I mean, these are technical questions asked by majority of the company. So I'm not saying these are questions directly from Episero or something, but these are the common questions asked in various companies when it comes to technical round. So one of the first thing that I already asked you, that is to explain or give a detailed explanation of your projects, right? Go through the questions that are displayed on the screen and let me know any questions in particular that you want me to answer. So let's go through the questions because I'm not seeing anybody asking me any questions. So how does linking work in C? What is pre-processing in C? Describe what are the elective subjects you have taken in your BTech. So these are some of the questions. Uh, Questions related to DBMS will not be focused on because Epicero does not work on DBMS, so we can ignore those questions for now. Questions in the latest trends happening in the industry will definitely be a point. Uh, Questions related to cloud computing, like I said. How do you? They might ask you to explain a code. Okay, let's go with this question. Explain a code, or give me the logic of how will you reverse a string without using obviously the inbuilt function. So my next question for you guys is, how do you reverse a string without using any inbuilt function? So I'll give you 2 minutes, and you can. I just need the logic. I don't want the code. I just want you to give me the logic. So what is big data by using a dummy variable? I'm waiting for your answers. So what is big data was a question asked by Vani. So I'll just answer it. I'm just waiting for guys to answer this one, and then so that once everybody is focused here, then we can discuss Vani. So we will talk about it. But right now, what will be your logic? What will be your explanation if asked? Explain the logic or algorithm of reversing a string. It's a reversing a string, yes, reversing a string without using inbuilt functions. So Rani says temp variable, dividing by 10 each and multiplying the remainder with 10. Lata, it's a string. Lata, it's a string, not a number. For number, I guess I can do that. For string, I won't be able to do that, no? By using a dummy variable, can you elaborate that, Yogananda, if possible? I'm waiting for your answers. Storing the last character in a dummy variable and printing another string and repeating the same by scanning the length of the. Uh, okay, I guess I understood what your logic is, but then I'll have to put in a lot of effort to understand your logic. So let's see. Let's see if anybody else has a different explanation. 2 more minutes and then we'll discuss this. After that, I'll also have to discuss about big data. So yeah, anybody else has any answers? Okay, by using a temporary string and assigning the bits in reverse order, assigning characters in reverse order. Okay, good one, Pranav. That's pretty much the explanation. Using while loop, storing character by character to another string from the last index number. Good one, Lata. That also is correct. So, like Pranav and Lata explained, what we do basically is first, any given string is there, we count the length of the string. So again, I cannot use any inbuilt functions. So what I do, I cannot use strlen. So I'll simply use a while loop and run the while loop until my string encounters a backslash n, and I go on incrementing my count. So I'll get the count value of the of the length of the string basically. Once I've done that, what do I do? Like Pranav and Lata explained, I'll run one more loop where I will I'll obviously have the last index value of the my given string. So that element in that last index value, I'll assign it to a new string in its beginning, and I go on decrementing the original string and go on incrementing the new string. So I go on assigning these values, and once I assign all these values, the string will be reversed. Also, one important thing you should mention is once you have assigned all the characters in reverse order to the new string, you have to also assign backslash zero, because by default, if I'm entering a string, the compiler does it for me. But since you're manually entering each and every character to the array, it is very important for you to assign it manually. Okay. So any questions here? If not, a question was asked by Vani, that is, what is big data? So, as the name suggests, big data is nothing but handling of really complex and huge data. So, right now, the entire industry, the IT industry, works on data. All the major major companies in the world, their main source of income is data. So, with that data, they sell that data, they use that data. That's up to them what they do with it. So the amount of data that is generated on a day-to-day basis is really huge, and at this rate at which it is getting accumulated in their servers or whatever where they store it is also in a really high quantity. So the way to handle this data, the way to structure this data, the way to extract this data, the way to understand this data is what we talk when we talk about big data. So how do you process this data? How do you analyze this data? Is the important task here. So that is what big data is all about. I hope I've answered your question, Vani. Let's move on to some more technical related questions. Yes, there might be chances of they asking you uh, some puzzles also. There has been instances, not to every student, but there has been chances of puzzles also. So the questions, puzzle related questions are also been asked to a variety of students. So be ready to face some puzzles also if you're lucky. Right. One of the common questions that I see in most of the technical interview is the difference between the programming language. So I want somebody to tell me what's the difference between C and C++. Yeah, C is nothing but C++ is nothing but C with oops. So that is how we can explain them. Moving on, you should also know the difference between various other programming languages and how they work. So that'll be really good for you. What I can do is this is a series of questions that have been repeatedly asked in various companies that have documented. So if anybody is interested with the document, you can just ping me online. I'll send my email ID in the end of the session, so I can send you the document so that you can go through each and every question in detail. Yeah, this is a very common question. Which sorting technique is really the fastest sorting technique? Can you see the question here? The one which I've highlighted. Yeah, this one. What is the fastest sorting technique? I hope you guys know what sorting is. So which is the fastest sorting technique? C does not contain. Okay, you guys are exactly right. Sort is considered to be one of the fastest because its average time complexity is better than other sorting techniques. So quick sort is considered to be the fastest sorting technique. Some people answered merge. So for your information, it is quick sort because the reason also is very important because its average time complexity is faster than or better than other sorting techniques, right? Uh, I like I mentioned in the beginning of the session, in technical interviews, there's very high chances of they asking you what you know about sorry, what you know about MuleSoft, what you know about Apisero. So do your due research in order to answer these kinds of question. Okay, there are a lot of questions. If I start discussing, it will take me another 2 hours. So I'll not move forward. We'll jump into the HR part of it. But coming to the technical aspect, do you have any questions, or do you want me to clear anything, or do you want me to answer any questions, or you want to understand how to answer a question? You can please ask. I'll give you 2 minutes. If you have any queries, please post it on the chat quickly so that we clear that and then move on to the HR part of the interview. Yes, I did forget one thing that I'll discuss now. That is questions that might be asked for non-IT students, non-CS students. So we'll discuss that. But apart from that, if you have any questions, you can ask me quickly. It looks like nobody has any questions. So coming to the query by one of the non-CS students, I don't remember the name. Sorry, buddy. But what he asked us, what are the questions to be expected by a non-IT student, right? Non-core student. So when I talk about a software company, non-core students are all students from circuit branches, mechanical, civil departments, right? So question what you can expect is one, details of about your projects, details about explanation about your internships, all that mandatory questions. They might ask you a question saying which is your elective subject that you have taken, or what are your favorite subjects, and based on that, they might start asking you questions related to it. Now, how will the interviewer, let's say the interviewer is from CS department, and let's say you're from a circuit branch, and you say a circuit branch subject like field theory or signals or something like that, right? So how will the interviewer know? So if I simply go on Google and check questions on field theory, I'll get at least 10 different questions. Maybe I'll not get the answers, but I'll definitely get a question, right? So I would suggest all the non-IT students or the IT students to do a thorough research on subjects that you are about to tell the interviewer, and see what are the questions you get on the internet. So prepare yourself for these types of questions, so that when asked, you'll be able to give the proper answer. Because I've seen this personally, and I've done this personally when I do online interviews or offline interviews. Uh, the moment the candidate says a particular subject, whether I know anything about the subject or whether I don't know anything about the subject, I quickly do a Google search about that particular subject regarding the questions. I get about 10 to 15 questions. I ask them regarding that question. So it is very ideal for you to go through what are the questions you get on the top search results. So if you're ready with it, you'll be on a better position. So this is what you can do. Along with that, you might get a challenging question that is, why do you want to get into IT? So, what is your answer? Okay, so we'll get back to HR questions now. So, when it comes to HR, one of the common questions they ask you is, tell me about yourself. So, I always suggest the students, please make the list of things that you want to tell when they ask you about, tell me about yourself. So it should be more of what you have done and how it is going to benefit the company. Okay, so you can tell about your education, what you have done, any extracurriculars. You can tell about what you have been doing in college, any participation in any various events or anything. All that can be told. Okay, but please make sure you at least have about 2.5 3 minutes of content when it comes to introducing yourself, right? So apart from that, you will get a follow-on questions about what you tell in your tell me about yourself question. If you mention about I have been an a cricketer, you might then get a follow-up question on cricket or something like that. So that is quite possible. So be ready to answer that also. So don't tell a lie, or if you tell a lie, please be ready to explain your lie also, right? This is one of the basic things that they ask in HR question. Apart from that, they will also ask you to ask you about, especially for non-IT students, they would ask you a question saying, why do you want to get into the IT profession? So I also want to put this question forward to most of you, because I believe most of you are not from the IT background. So what will be your answer? Why do you want to get into IT? The question is in front of you. Why do you want to get into IT? Quickly submit your answers. Send your answers. Let's see if we have any decent answer. So Pawan says, fast growing industry, better opportunities. Okay. Anybody else with any other answers? So one of the ideal answers that I have seen over the years, given by non-IT students, when faced with such question is, IT is an industry which involves each and every stream. So, as a circuit branch student, you can always offer a lot by knowing your coding knowledge, and also by knowing your core knowledge, because most of the advancement in the industry is not just because of coding. It is with the integration of various other streams also. So an answer like this, which will tell that you're not ready. I mean, uh, you're not just doing it for better opportunities, but you are ready to offer your set of knowledge to the industry will give you a better chances, right? So an answer like this, I'm not saying asking anybody to copy the answer that I just told, but an answer like this, which is not saying that I just want to join because there's good money or there's good opportunity or it's growing fast. I just want to join because uh, from this particular stream, I have something to offer to the IT industry. That's why I want to join. So that will be a better answer. Okay. Apart from this, when it comes to HR, I have a couple of other questions. One moment. Uh, Question related to this is one of the common questions that I see in most of the interviews. That is, what are your strengths or what are your weaknesses? So be ready with such questions. Questions like, what do you think about hardworking or smart working? Elaborate. So I wanted to tell you this: if it's a HR question, or if it's any question when it comes to a personal interview, if the question, if you're answering, don't answer in one word or in a sentence. Always give elaborated answers. So elaborated answers gets you the interview. Okay, if you simply give one word or one sentence, that is not going to help you, because the reason they are asking you this question is not because they're, I mean, they might be interested in it, but the major reason is whether you are able to explain things in a really good manner. That's the reason they ask you these questions. So give a very elaborated answers, right? Uh, Apart from that, when it comes to HR, like I said, questions related to whether hardworking is better or smart working, questions related to your internships, your projects, why do you want to get into IT industry, or why do you want to get into this particular company, or why do you want to, what are your strengths and weaknesses. They might also ask you some puzzles, and they might also give you a scenario. For example, this is one thing that I have seen in the latest trends. That is, they ask you about a particular concept. For example, let's say they'll ask you, do you have any idea about, let's say, IoT? So you are probably going to say, yes, yes, I know what IoT is. IoT is nothing but Internet of Things, where it connect various devices that I use to the internet, so that I can wirelessly handle them or manipulate them, right? So when asked such question, the next immediate question will be, how will you explain IoT to a 10-year-old child or a 70-year-old person? So your ability to elaborate and break the answers to the level of understanding of a person whose mental ability is only 10 years old, or a person who has no idea about the technology trends, who is about 70 or 80 years old, will be really will really matter, because the clients what you get need not be, I mean, this is what the perspective of the what do you call, the IT companies are, that you will get to deal with a lot of clients, and the clients what you get may not be from the IT domain. They might be from arts domain, or they might be from a business background. So explaining them things that you're doing, or explaining them the code that you're writing, or explaining them the product that you're trying to sell them, is very important. So that's the reason how well you can elaborate things, or how well you can decode things, how well you can break things down to a 10-year-old child or a 70-year-old man is very important. So please be ready with such questions. Please be ready to answer such questions. So that's pretty much about HR interviews. And I guess you've already attended the session for PI and PI and HR. So they would have given you a lot of scenario-based questions and everything. So that should be good if you go through it. One last time, I'll again tell everyone, when it comes to technical interview, or when it comes to PI, basically, please do your due research on Apisero, on Mule software, how it works, where it works, and everything, and also focus on algorithms and logics to explain. Focus on cloud technologies. Focus on operating systems, computer networks. Focus on. I did forget to tell you one more important area that you want to focus on. That is SDLC, software development life cycle. There is no information given about any service agreement by Episero, and I've not seen any service agreement being done until recently. So I don't think so. They have it. If any such information comes to light, uh, we will definitely inform you. Right? Anything else? So we'll just wind up the session. So if you have any last few questions, just fire it out. I'll try to answer them, and then we'll end up the session. I've already sent the link for your attendance, so you can click on that and mark your attendance. Uh, yeah. So if you have any questions, you can ask. I have a simple question for all of you. Did you learn anything today? So there are about 50 people watching. So if yes, respond with yes. If no, please respond with no. But I need active participation at least there. So our question is very simple. Did you learn anything today? Mechanical people can also attend. See, if you are eligible, it says a person from BTech and BCA domain can enter. So there's no specific mention of which streams can enter and which streams cannot. Since they've only mentioned BTech, if you've got the mail for the test, you can definitely attend. So, have you received any mail, Anvesha? Regarding the details of the test? No, no, not the link. Have you received any mails regarding the details of the test? I believe your no is for have you received any link? So if you have received you have not. It would be really good if you contact your placement officer from your college, because I'll not be able to assist you right away. So it will be really great if you can contact your placement officer. Uh, he or she will be able to guide you better. So if you've not received any mail from okay, you filled the Google form from 7 cents. If you have provided the proper emails, then you would definitely receive it. So the test is scheduled to be on 4th of April. So anytime before 4th, you will receive it. If you have registered for offline drives, then you will receive it anytime before 4th. Yes, I will provide my email ID. So I've sent you my email ID on the chat. That's also my name. My name is Abhyuday Shetty. I guess I didn't give that in the beginning of the session. So my name is Abhyuday Shetty, and that's my email. And for the technical PDF, you can drop me a mail. I'll forward it to you. Any other queries? Okay. Anyways, so regarding the Google forum, if you don't receive any mails by third, just contact the Seven Sense coordinator that has been coordinating with you. He will be able to assist you with it. Okay. And regarding test links, if anybody has received any mails, you will also receive the test links via the same mail, right? Uh, so that being done, thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you, though you didn't talk anything because it was live. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. All the best, and yeah, get placed in whatever companies come across you, and have a nice weekend. Bye, and yeah, happy Easter if anybody's celebrating. Bye. So if you have any queries, we have another 2 or 3 minutes. You can post your queries on the chat. I can answer them. So for the materials or anything related to the technical content, I have forwarded my email. You can always get in touch with me. And thank you so much. Thank you, guys. You are welcome. And bye. I'll be ending the stream. So if you have any more queries, you can get in touch with the 7th team or you can drop a mail to me.